It's Don here from the board. Thank you for coming along and checking out another one of our videos. So as you can see from the title, I'm going to be having a look at a Model M, the classic IBM Model M keyboard with buckling springs. Now, first and foremost though, I have to give an incredible huge shout out to Haaaaaandrew from Reddit, who very generously actually sent me this keyboard for free. He ended up with a couple of them and he contacted me and said, hey, would you be interested in getting one of these? And I said, sure, why not? And he followed through with his promise. Now, why I'm saying it's such a big deal is because it is a monstrosity of a keyboard normally, and it comes even furthermore when it's being posted internationally. Now, I'm not going to show you the shipping label because it's actually got Haaaaaandrew's details on it, but it's been weighed in at £6 for this entire box, and you can see this box is not a small box. And I'm just going to switch over onto the tabletop camera. Oh, what have I done? There we go. And you'll see it actually cost him $74.60 to mail it to me, which is insane, absolutely insane. Now, that's why I want to say thank you so much for actually doing this, because that is not cheap at all. Plus, of course, the actual value of the keyboard itself. So I really love and appreciate the support that you've given to us over the year so far. And of course, I hope that we'll be able to continue to bring you great content as a way of saying thank you. So let's get this thing open and actually have a look. Now, I am old enough to have used Model M's in my life before mechanical keyboards became popular again. And in that way, it's very sort of nostalgic, because when I grew up in the 80s, they had Model M's still at computers at school. But then, of course, came along the generation of rubber domes when our school upgraded the computers and started using Honeywell rubber domes, which everyone loved. And I've mentioned this before in the podcast, because it went from a very noisy classroom of kids tapping away on keyboards, mechanical keyboards, to a very quiet, no headachy kind of thing, because they were all become rubber dome keyboards. So going back full circle now to a Model M is just it's just pretty cool. So just bending that back over. Now, there's a very nice bit of card label here that Haaaaaandrew has written, and he says, "Hey Don, thanks for all you do. Enjoy the board once I have a proper converter." So, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Now, I'm just going to try and flip that up so you can see how well it's actually sent it. There it is in all its glory. It's not really going to... yeah, it won't show onto the desk. But there's foam all around it. There's bubble wrap. And, well, this is incredible. So, there's the actual cable. And here is the beast. Just picking it up is an experience to behold. Ooh, that way. So we can see the DIN cable, and it's got a the old school sort of network style jack on one end, and then it's got a DIN 5 on the other. So just pulling that out, you can see there's the jack, and that goes in, and then you've got your 5-pin on the other side. Very springy. I must say this is in really good condition. There's not much deterioration. It's still got a lot of its elastic stretch to it. Nice and soft and flexible. So it's been out of the sun. Hasn't shown really any aging or damage to the cable, which is fantastic. Now, of course, what I need to make this work, to make this happen, is probably going to be a Soarer's converter. I do have Pro Micros, so it's relatively easy, or should I say, it's within my reach to be able to create one. I just need to be able to get a 5-pin DIN socket that I can wire to, that I would plug this end of that cable into to complete what I need to make this baby work. Now, first and foremost, let's have a look at the back. It's in pretty good nick, and I don't believe this has been modded in any way, so we can still see what it is, and its life was 27 April 1992. This keyboard is the same age as my brother-in-law by a year. Now, in 1992, I was in year 6. So definitely to the good old days. Oh, it's beautiful. So now, of course, I'm going to raise the feet on it because I like my angled boards, and it'll give it a bit more echoiness. Now you can see how much space that takes on my desk here. Now my full-size Philco, just for comparison, is nowhere near it, in that even with the case, it actually ends at the numpad. So we're looking at a good sort of maybe 2.5 U length longer than a standard sort of 104. Now, of course, the really important part is how it sounds. Now, my mic is sort of up here at the moment in this corner of the camera, and you'll be able to hear that lovely sound. You can hear a bit of that pinging that's very sort of reminiscent with the buckling keyboards. The quick the cacophony that is buckling springs. So I'm going to drop that a little bit closer and just do a little bit more button mashing. So there you have it. That's what the old school buckling spring sounds like by comparison to everything else that's been recorded on my channel so far. It's got a stepped caps lock, which is pretty cool. The Alt keys in green, which is a little bit unusual. Don't sort of remember that. The profile, of course, being buckling spring, has a really lovely curve to it. Now if I put this on, there's something that's rattling here. I don't know if the microphone's picking that up. It might just be some junk sort of underneath the keys, but won't really know unless if I pull it apart to check it out. But I'm just seeing if I can show the profile of the keycaps. That way. Is that better? No, it's not really showing it very well because I don't think I can get it under the camera easily. I don't think it wants to. It doesn't really want to. You can sort of see there's a bit of a curvature that's happening there. It is actually a really lovely sort of curve. The F key row is very high by comparison, but if you actually extrapolate that curvature and you imagine that there was actually a row of switches here, that curvature actually fills in really nice. So it's almost like a SA style of curve, but it takes it right the way through. It's, you know, you could go to town during a zombie apocalypse with this guy and probably still walk away with a working keyboard. Now, I know that there's other things that people have done. There's dampening mods with foam and stuff like that. I know that you can do the bolt modding. I don't actually know 100% what a bolt modded keyboard is, except for the fact that I think you drill and put some more bolts in it or something like that. Probably makes the plate stiffer. But while we're talking about stiffness, okay, so I can give it a bit of a twist, and there's a bit of creaking and groaning there. Now the plastic shell, of course, it is plastic, so you kind of expect that there would be a bit of give. You can see over here that there's sort of a bit of gap space on that. Doesn't meet absolutely flush on the casing, but whether that's just because of how they are or if molding wasn't great, I don't think it's popped out due to shipping, because just giving it a squeeze, nothing seems like it's going to be popping back in or that it's particularly loose. And of course you can see that there is already a couple of bolts in this anyway, as just part of how it's constructed. And there's that wonderful fat jack that sits there for the keyboard to go in. So yeah, a relatively quick review and look and feel. Oh, I can't get over how much weight this thing actually has. Like, it has an incredible amount of heft to it. Hey, doesn't want to recognize my hands. And yeah, can't wait to see if I can get a working converter for it, and then or build a working converter. What are you doing? Some reason. There we go. Keycaps are in pretty good condition. There's not really much shine on them. There's a little bit of sort of red stuff here. Not quite sure. At some point I might take them off and give them a good clean. Whether I'll take this baby to work or not, I don't know, because it does have no win key. I could survive, but yeah, be a bit more mouse clicking, that's all. So there we go. So once again, thank you very much, Haaaaaandrew, for actually sending this. Really appreciate it. And you've said that it works, so I'm going to go ahead and start looking into how to actually build a Soarer converter, getting the parts and stuff like that. Obviously I don't know what kind of time frame that's going to be to take me to get around to doing that, but we'll see how it goes. So there you have it, the IBM Model M. And of course, as always, until next time, happy clacking.